No DQ Galaxy, we are indeed live. It is Wednesday, May 10th, and no, it is not Aaron Rift. Aaron Rift is actually live at Dynamite, so shout out to the boss man. It is good old JM. Jeff Meacham here. Shout out, of course, to the early birds that were in before I got here. Calvin Bowman, Nick Glavin, Daniel, I can't say your name, Daniel. I apologize. You are a paid member of the Casa D18 Studios, so I appreciate that. Daniel Malinex, I'll go with that. Matthew Hostetter, City by the Bay, Joey Perez, Eric Turbeville, Skin Man, The Real Wyatt, Walter Cruz, Ryan Dempsey. Shout out also to the boss man and the missus, who are indeed live on location over at AEW Dynamite at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit. We'll be joined by Aaron hopefully here shortly, as well as shout out to the Renegade JJ Williams, who is out right now running errands. He will also hopefully be back for at least part of this recap of Dynamite. So there you go. Let's get right into it, guys. I'm not going to waste too much of your time because I know I was a little long-winded last time I filled in for Aaron. So let's go ahead and get right to it here. Started out hot. Claudio Castagnoli and Rey Phoenix already in the ring. No intros, no nothing. That no good Aubrey Edwards in there refereeing. The winner of this match would get a shot at the respective championships. Of course, Claudio being the Ring of Honor World Champion, Rey Phoenix being one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Early advantage went to Rey Phoenix. There were little high spots. Claudio tried to counter with the power moves, but Rey maintained the dominance pretty much throughout the first part of the match. Before they went to the picture-in-picture break, Claudio finally got the upper hand. He literally threw Rey Phoenix into the crowd, just like slung him like he was Mike Awesome and Spike Dudley and stuff. And they came back from the picture-in-picture break. They went back and forth, near falls, well throughout the second part of the match. Claudio did get the win. And of course, he and therefore the Blackpool Combat Club will be getting a shot at the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles at a later date. Mike M is also here. And it's funny you bring up Mike M that it is Miro Day. It is because we went backstage and there was Renee Paquette outside of Tony Khan's office. And there was Miro just back on TV like no time had passed, like nothing had happened. And he went right into Tony's office, and we didn't see him the rest of the night. So interesting to see Miro back on the show. We saw somebody else return a little bit later on. Yeah, Claudio is just the strongest dude in the business, no doubt about it. Or at least pound for pound, the strongest I've seen, for what it's worth. You're going to have a brief moment here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to. Okay, let's get rid of that. Sorry. Probably having an echo. Running this on my own here. It is what it is. Great Dynamite. It was a good Dynamite. I enjoyed it. Hopefully Aaron enjoyed it as well. We'll see what he says when he got here. And AEW wins. Hey, AEW always wins with things like tonight. All right. So after that little spotlight or little showing of Miro walking to Tony's office, we get into the hype videos for the night. And all four pillars got their own hype video, if you will, regarding Double or Nothing. I do want to talk to Aaron about MJF's hype video, but I will talk about it very briefly. He compared himself and the pillars to the Beatles. So I definitely want to get Aaron's insight on that. Definitely want to get JJ's insight on that as well, because both of them are the two biggest Beatles fans I know, Aaron and JJ. So I definitely want to get them in there and see what they have to say. Yeah, Aaron I didn't know he was going till this morning, to be fair. That's why I'm sitting in, filling in for the boss, as it says there on the headline there. But anyway, after the hype video from MJF, we went to break. FTR came out after the break, called out Mark Briscoe to talk about what's going on. And instead, out came Team Jarrett, Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, demanding an answer to their title shot challenge that they laid on FTR. And Dax said they'll accept, but Sanjay has to admit that they've been using Mark Briscoe. So we'll see if that is the case. We'll see if this is the case. Aaron apparently just tweeted out as he's getting ready to pop in here that Tony Khan there, Detroit will get a pay-per-view. Plenty of options in Detroit for a pay-per-view. Yes, Michamania is here running wild. Matthew says, poor Mark Briscoe, he doesn't need to be in this. He needs to be in Ring of Honor. I agree. Mark Briscoe is, still got a lot left in him. Anyway, Mark Briscoe then came out and had a bottle. I didn't see what the bottle was of. It was definitely some sort of booze. And said that the match is definitely on between FTR and Lethal and Jarrett, but he will be the referee in Vegas, and poured shots in little Dixie cups for everybody. And Sanjay drank straight out of the bottle and then spit whatever it was into Dax's face, which unfortunately led to Dax dropping Mark Briscoe when he was blinded. So that was an unfortunate series of events, if you will, and series of unfortunate events, if you will. And yes, Big G, I know, was happy. It was a thing. I'm going to start that comment. We'll come back to it later. Calvin says, love AEW, been a fan since 2019. Absolutely. I've been a fan the whole time too. It just, they have their moments. So after the FTR and Team Jarrett segment, and yes, I'm saying Team Jarrett because that's who I root for on that segment. Renee Paquette was backstage with Chris Jericho, saying Adam Cole got the best of Jericho last week, but Jericho was very quick to point out that Jericho was at the announce table when he got jumped from behind, right? So from that point, Jericho then said that he will face Adam Cole, but he also said he had a court order barring Adam Cole from any building Jericho's in. Roderick Strong then came in and said that he came in to challenge Chris Jericho for a Falls Count Anywhere fight, and Jericho accepted for next week when they'll be in Austin, Texas. And then Roderick Strong reveals that because Adam Cole was banned from the building for Roderick's match with Jericho next week, the entire JAS is banned from the building as well. So it's going to be interesting. And again, I pointed out earlier that there was another return to TV as Renee Paquette was waiting outside Tony Khan's office. Up walked Thunder Rosa out of literally nowhere. She hasn't been on TV forever, and there she was. So both Miro and Thunder Rosa returned tonight, but they just walk into Tony Khan's office and we don't see them the rest of the night. So definitely a little bit of, ooh, what's going to happen next? Curiosity may have killed the cat, but I'm curious myself. They went to break and they came back. They did a hype video for Sammy Guevara. I almost said Sami Zayn. That's how WWE centric I am. Sammy Guevara, for his part in AEW Dynamite, they talked to him. They talked to Ty Conti, or Ty Mello, I think she's going by now. So, and then Tony with his big announcement for the week, revealing that there'll be an announcement next week. I thought that was a great move. Like, I'm not going to announce anything this week. There'll be an announcement on TNT next week. Regarding the future of AEW in the Warner Media family. The hype, of course, that's been going around the wrestling world, if you will, that should make that would have been punk. That would have been funny. Yeah. Blink if you're in trouble, Tony. The rumor and innuendo, if you will, is that there's going to be an announcement of AEW being added to the rebranded Max service as opposed to HBO Max when they do the relaunch soon. I know that they're having this new show that's allegedly going to be on Collision. It's called Collision. Maybe we'll see Miro and Thunder Rosa be part of that, as Paid Enthusiast is suggesting. Time will tell, but I think that we're going to, for once, Dave Meltzer's information will be correct, and we'll get a little bit of information about the future of AEW on the Max platform. Orange Cassidy then came out to face Daniel Garcia for the international title. Bryce was the referee there. Back and forth, pretty much before and after the break. Very good match. I was impressed by both men. JJ was sitting here watching it with me before he went out to run his errands, and he said what I've been saying. More and more, I buy the I get it with Cassidy. I get the shtick. I get the gimmick. City by the Bay, as far as the 4-pillar match, I don't think it's the worst main event in AEW history. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how these guys can do for me. That's just me. Orange Cassidy just barely squeaked out a win here, but a great match between Orange Cassidy and Daniel Garcia here. Another JAS versus anybody moment. Christian Cage then came out for an in-ring promo with Tony Schiavone, talking about Christian getting the shot at the TNT Championship and how he, shot to the front of the line, talked about Wardlow's, looking for a father. I kind of got lost in the sauce a little bit on this promo here, so forgive me. But Christian kept talking about that, Arn Anderson, who's now with Wardlow, of course, was the second fiddle in a tag team, talking about Arn, was in a tag team with Tully Blanchard, which, I'm sorry. As far as wrestling goes, long-term, Tully wasn't around past 1991. maybe 1990. Like, he just wasn't there. He retired. Arn Anderson's been a steady presence in wrestling since the early 1980s. Yes, he's a little older, and yeah, Christian's promo kind of came off a little rough tonight. And the take he took, it's like, dude, weren't you the other guy in a tag team with Edge? I love Christian. I always have loved Christian Cage, but yeah, Edge is definitely the more solid member of that team. So probably not the best stance to take, Christian. Just saying. Another hype video, and this was about Darby, and Darby talking about, he wants to give back, he wants to do right by the business, and I was like, that's great. Again, I think people are getting lost in it because the hype is very much Max and everybody else. Like, it doesn't seem very equal, at least to me as a viewer. But I'm definitely interested in the match. Crowd was definitely, I see everybody saying Christian, the Edge is better chance, and he is. And I think Christian always will be. It's not that I'm not a fan of Darby, City by the Bay. He's my least favorite in the match. How about that? I don't know why. I don't dislike Darby. I'm just not as big a fan of his as I am of the other guys in AEW, the other people in this match even. That we don't know, Walter. That's a good question. I'll have to ask Aaron and see if he knows when he comes in here, if he does come in. I don't know if he's coming or not. That's the thing. We will see if Aaron pops in or not. Pacific by Basis is just Fatal 4-Way, so I guess first fall is the winner. We'll see. See what happens. So then we went to another break, but as we were going to that break, they went to Renee Paquette in the back, and it was they were talking to the Best Friends and Bandito, and I guess the Best Friends didn't know that they got to pick the other stipulation, dealer's choice, if you will, for the open house match. And Trent blurted out, all witches banned from ringside, which I guess left Julia Hart out of the equation, because she was actually in that match after the Darby hype video. I skipped over that. Forgive me, the women. Yes, MJF is still the champion. Anna JAS and Julia Hart actually were on at 9 o'clock, not 9:30. They actually had the girls go early. As Julia was making her entrance, Anna JAS came out and attacked her during the walk down the ramp. Pretty solid women's no holds barred match. Granted, it didn't go too long. I think it went about 15 minutes, give or take. I'll have to ask Aaron again when he pops in here. If I'm nothing confirmed if he's going to be back in time for the end of the recap. We are going to go a little longer tonight because I am going to do a little bit besides the AEW recap, because I didn't get to talk wrestling the way I wanted to yesterday because of outside interference, damn run-ins. So we're going to do that really quick after the recap. And then Julia actually won the match. Julia Hart defeated Anna JS on television, which I was surprised by. I'm not going to lie. I figured sure Anna J was going to win. She didn't. She lost by submission on TBS. So that was pretty cool. Matt says Anna J Julia Hart match was something, but did they really do a DQ match? I just feel like it's the worst of two young, talented women. I actually liked it. I liked the match. I thought it went better than even I expected. I think JJ will agree that the Anna J Julia Hart match, was given maybe more time than I expected. And I think it went better than people were expecting in general. So I will disagree with you on that, Matt. Then they went to the interview with the Best Friends. Sorry, I got a little out of order on my sheet here. So yeah, the Best Friends and Bandito came out before the break. House of Black came in after the break. Pretty much one-sided. I mean, the Best Friends and Bandito got in a few shots here and there, but it was designed to be a House of Black showcase, and it very much was. The House of Black retains the trios titles, but then they cut to the back, and Kyle Fletcher, who, with all due respect to Aussie Open and everybody involved, I know who the dude was. Aaron even texted me, who is Kyle Fletcher? And I look at JJ, no idea. But apparently he's going to be challenging Orange Cassidy. So there is that. Pit Enthusiast says they are pushing Julia Hart because she has a great entrance and theme. Her character is also very popular with the fans. It makes, like I said, I like Julia Hart. I've liked Julia Hart even before they put her with the House of Black. So I'm a fan. I just was surprised to see her beat Anna because I know Anna's got a lot of hype. Anyway, Kyle Fletcher standing over Orange Cassidy with his championships as well as holding up the international title. So it looks like that's where we're going for either Double or Nothing or a shot on television, whatever the case may be. They then went to a Jack Perry Double or Nothing hype video. Again, this was the night that we're not going to see these four guys in action. They were just hyping up the match for Double or Nothing, which I told JJ, just on this match alone, that people are going to be like, oh, it's just, I'm not really care about the match. I care about the world title. I care about the match. And if I wasn't having set concrete plans for that day and the next, I'd probably be in Vegas. I'm not going to lie, because I always enjoy going out to Vegas to see friends and family, and to go there for AEW would be even cooler, especially since it's Double or Nothing, which is like their WrestleMania. So it would be good. I would enjoy going, but again, concrete plans in place for that show. So for that weekend, all 4 days, I'm either going to be on here with y'all with the Multiverse of Media doing the coverage of, what is it, Jay? Under Siege, Night of Champions, and Double or Nothing. Those 3 weekends. Okay. And then, of course, Monday I'll be at the House of Mouse with family doing a birthday celebration. So I'll be busy all 4 days. Jungle Boy is still the weakest of the 4 pillars, even more so with the recent comments he said at a recent convention when it comes to wrestling. Oh, I didn't know about that. You'll have to fill me in, Matthew. And again, I will always like Jack because I loved Luke Perry. I was an out 2-0 kid, it was, and I was starting to get into Riverdale. Haven't really finished the series yet, and I probably won't, but we'll see. I'm a little behind on binge watching old series, right, Jay? Has Gotham, yeah, exactly, yeah, Gotham, it is what it is. Walter says Darby's least believable winner. Sorry to say we don't have it. Yeah, I mean, it's a given. Max is going to retain, at least for me, but I still want to see the match. Interesting take. City by the Bay says Sammy's the most talented in the match by far, but the least over. I think that's a fair take. I don't know. I mean, Sammy, I think Sammy really got lost in the shuffle of being part of Chris Jericho's group, which happened to all of them except Chris. Chris was trying to give these guys, more of an opportunity to get seen more, and they ended up just becoming Chris's lackeys, which, happens when it's Chris Jericho because it's Chris freaking Jericho, to be fair. Then they hype Rampage, Excalibur went into his, 60 seconds of crazy or 90 seconds of crazy, but they did showcase the Starks Switchblade match for next week, which I'm looking forward to because I love Ricky Starks. I always have. And Jay White, the Switchblade, is going to be just awesome match next week. And then, of course, as they mentioned earlier, Jericho versus Roddy Strong next week with the JAS and Adam Cole all banned from the building. Matthew says Jack came off very snobbish at a con, saying he didn't need to take lessons from people like Billy Gunn. And when someone asked how to get into the business, Jungle Boy said, don't. I mean, to be fair, the part about not getting into the business, I agree with. This business is nuts. Don't get into it if you're not already into it and don't have a clear, definitive passion for it. It is a mucker feather of an industry. Can't stress that enough. I enjoy it. I enjoy being on the fringe part of it that I am. I did enjoy my time, working some of the independents I worked in SoCal, but if you go into it thinking you're going to make consistent, constant money, you are delusional, my friend, and then some. Joey says, make Uncle Krusty proud, Jungle Boy, especially the bet. That's right. There you go. If you know, you know, kids. MJF or Sammy? For me, it's MJF, without a doubt. All right, so then we got into the main event. The cage finally. Fair point. I mean, I go toward MJF for reasons I've been asked not to disclose on the air, to be fair. So it's, Virtue's here. Hi, Virtue. No DQ. Virtue says, Tony Khan needs an AEW shirt made that says big announcement next week. I would buy those in triplicate just to be that guy. I would. Oh, anyway. So the cage finally comes down for Mox and Omega. Big pre-match brawl between the BCC and the Bucks. Brian, of course, staying out of the fray, staying at the commentary table. Nick Jackson came up and got in Brian's face, and I'm like, don't do that, Nick. Don't make me choose. Of course, I'm choosing Brian any day because the Bucks are the Bucks, but, the opening bell for the cage match finally came at 9:42. Like 18 minutes to go in the show. Like, really? and then they took a picture-in-picture break 5 minutes in. It was crazy. During the picture-in-picture break, Jay, I hope you're listening now. It's going to get good. Moxley undid the entire one turnbuckle and used the pole of the turnbuckle to stick it in Omega's mouth and choke him. Because Moxley, yeah. Oh, JJ's making himself a cinnamon roll drink, and we're going to see how it tastes because it's Fireball. And what is it? Cream soda. Fireball and cream soda. I'm not a Fireball fan, so we'll see how that goes for all parties involved, I'm sure. So anyway, it was pretty much what we expected. Very violent throughout the match, but then came the swerve. Mox emptied a bag of glass in the middle of the ring, and yet still got knocked back on it himself, and then locked into submission. It's crazy, right? It was like he was falling his damn sword. But Don Callis out there, Virtue says Don Callis looked like Howie Mandel. He's not wrong. 100% not wrong. Yep, somebody had to drink. We're live, pal. Gonna wait till this first rampage. Okay, so Aaron is watching the first Rampage match, and he's gonna try pop in after that. Yes, sir.
She doesn't like Fireball. She said, "Oh shit."
Okay.
In a good way.
Okay. No drinking on the job. Hey, you know what? Aaron's not here. The boss said I can do what I want. Let's see. So this is literally Fireball and cream soda, which I'm a fan of neither, for the record, kids. Oh, that's tasty. That's good. That's good. All right. Do you need this one back, or is this mine? That's yours. Shit. Okay. Aaron's in trouble. He better get here quick. That's some good shit. Okay. Anyway. Some good shit here, pal. That's good shit, pal. All right. No. Okay. I will drink on the. Walter says, "Live by the glass, die by the glass." That's fair. So I am starting the comments about the end of the match because I will get to it. I promise. 1 sip and he'll be plastered. This is accurate. It's pretty gnarly stuff. Anyway, Aaron, I hope you are seeing this message come back to you. Okay. Anyway, so after they kind of wrestled around the bag of glass, or the broken glass, very briefly, there was an exchange of strikes, and then Omega hit a pair of knees, and then he hit a Snapdragon, then a V-trigger, and the V-trigger drove them both through the side of the cage. So the panel of the cage came down, and it was just ugly. It was bad, like crazy. And so then Mox threw Kenny back in the ring, and let's see what happened here. Mox threw him back in the ring. He grabbed the screwdriver, right? Wyatt, I started that comment when you put it the first time. I got you, brother. I promise all these comments about the result of the main event are going to be there, because I want to make sure JJ hears what I say about the main event too. Is he in here? Okay, he's not. I'll wait then. So Mox threw Omega back in the ring, grabbed the screwdriver. JJ. Let's do that. Anyway, so let's see. Mox got the screwdriver. Brought Don Callis into the ring. He ran interference. Omega counters, gets the one-winged angel, goes for the pinfall, and Don Callis turns on Kenny Omega and hits him with the screwdriver. It was bad. He hit him right in the head. I think he hit him with the butt of the screwdriver, like the non-sharp end. I don't know that for sure. But yeah. So Don turns on Kenny, and Moxley gets the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it looked like Omega got impaled there for a second. Just not a happy Callis played screen. That's great. Callis bringing Punk back on screen. You know, he might. And I saw your other comment, Virtue. I'll go ahead and throw it up there now. He'd love for Callis to manage heel CM. I'd be here for that. Don Callis needs to be featured more. People don't like Don. I love Don. I think it's great. Anyway, fantastic match. Shocked by the ending. Mess of a match. I'm a fan of Moxley and his GCW BS. Well, there you go, Matt. Don turning was so random. Maybe I haven't been paying enough attention, but I didn't see it coming. It's random as hell. I disagree. I saw it coming weeks ago. And City by the Bay likes your suggestion, Virtue. So random, but I didn't expect it, which is always a good thing. I think this match was set to give Cornette a heart attack. Absolutely. My thoughts on the turn. I'll get there momentarily. Don Callis turning heel was expected for a while. I hate wrestling is predicting also joining the ending. Did Omega hurt his knee? Didn't look that way to me. Omega versus Punk versus MJF needs to happen at Wembley. I agree that there should be a world title match at Wembley. And Real Wyatt says I still feel cringe as F. There you go. That would be awesome, Virtue. And Don is a heel now. That's it. I think Don's always been a heel. All right, so there you go. So that was Dynamite. I mean, it ended with Don with Moxley celebrating on the ramp as Kenny lay there kind of out, out of it for reasons. I mean, his father figure turned on him. It was pretty crazy. Virtue says Callis is the closest thing AEW is going to get to having Heyman. I was it. Don was going to turn sooner or later. Kenny is no longer Don's friend. That's right. Oh, I saw the question about the writer's strike. I don't think it's over yet. So there is that. So we're going to wait until Aaron comes in and estimated time of pickup. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. Please go ahead and be here at 8 p.m. as discussed. I'll be off the air by then. That didn't work. Please be here at 8 p.m. I'll be off the air by then. All right, good thing the freaking voice to text is working. Brand new phone, already having issues. Did you hear me talk about the main event where you were in there? Don turned on Kenny, dude. Nice. Freaking hit Kenny right in the back of the head with the butt end of the screwdriver that Mox brought into the ring. So Kenny hit a V-trigger, drove them both through a panel of the cage. The cage gave way like freaking hell. It looked like a Hell in a Cell panel. It was so floppity, right? And then damn, JJ's here. There you go. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Let me prove it at this juncture. 1 sip, and I'm already talking like George Bush. Not good. Not good at all. Anyway, it is really good. The thing is, I'm going to be picking up in 28 minutes. I'm in trouble. I'm going to throw that shit back. Anyway, so Kenny hit the vid-trigger. They went to the floor. Mox threw Kenny back in the ring. Grabs a screwdriver. Callis guns and run interference. Kenny hits the one-wing angel, goes for the pin, and Don goes, nope, with the screwdriver right in the back of Kenny's head. Mox gets the pin. Don grabbed Kenny, looked like he was going to stab him with the sharp end of the screwdriver, and then instead got in his face and threw him back down and then left. And then Mox left celebrating on the ramp, and that was it. Like, damn, I know Don's a dick, but damn, no, not Don Kenny.
No, I think I would have seen the heel turn until Double or Nothing.
Yeah, but
the swerve for that.
Well, I mean, the thing is that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens on Dynamite can happen all around. That's fair. But now you have more intrigue going into Vegas, which makes me regret not going even more. If it wasn't for the reason I wasn't going, I'd be regretting not going because I'm going to be with family at Disneyland. I'm going to be calling this crazy shit weekend with y'all. So it's going to be bonkers. I need to sit forward because it's hurting my back here. I'm already beat up enough as it is. I don't think I didn't see him kiss his forehead. He gave him a mafia style kiss apparently, which is, very, very Don-like. Anyhow. So yeah, that was really it for Dynamite. I am going to prolong because Aaron did say he would try to pop in. So what we will do, since Mr. JJ is here, we will talk about a few other things that I didn't get to talk about yesterday because shenanigans were afoot at the Cassidy 18 adjunct studio, if you will. We'll call it that for the day. City by the Base. I really like the idea of Don with it. So people in the chat room are co-signing with Virtue that Don should hook up with a returning CM Punk. I'm like, yes. Don Callis and CM Punk is money out of my pocket on television. Speaking of money out of one's pocket, joining. But
wouldn't you think Don Callis would be like the Wish version of Paul Heyman?
Well, we'll send the ring too. That Virtue even said that Don's the closest we're going to get to having Paul in AEW, which is not wrong. Meanwhile, live at the Little Caesars Arena is the boss man. Aaron, how are you, brother?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine, guys.
Great. Is there too much noise in the background?
Not at all. I can hear you clearly. I can even hear Caitlin commenting when she's coming in the back just now, so I can hear everybody. We're good.
All
right.
Go
back there. I did. I don't know if you can see this on screen or not, Aaron, but I did throw up during the early bird shout outs that the two of you were at the arena. So there was that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeff, let me just say my thoughts here real quick because
I'm
not sure what's going to happen here.
You're good.
Just a great experience. The live crowd, as I mentioned on social media, feels like a classic Attitude Era crowd. It's amazing, the vibe here. So much fun being here live. You have to check out AEW if it comes to your town. It's just so much fun, and I've really had a great time here. Like,
I'm glad, brother.
It was a blast.
Are you the last of the main group to go to AEW now?
Probably. Like, it's been 4 years. It took me a long time, but finally made it. And the cage match was great. Don Callis turning heel. Tons of heat for that. Like, the place was so upset about that. And then the moment where they went through the side of the cage, like, that was crazy. But I could see the cameramen showing up and getting the shot ready. So you kind of knew it was coming, at least watching it here in the arena. The main event was great, though. Love it. Hardcore match. Lots of violence. And Tommy, Aaron's son, actually was crying a little bit because of the amount of violence. Yeah, it was quite brutal. Like, he got a little upset.
Well, is this his first wrestling show or just first AEW show?
First wrestling show, period.
Oh, man, what an intro to the business. God bless that kiddo.
Yeah. Other than the cage match, Cesaro, Claudio, and Rey Phoenix was a really good opener.
Yeah, it was.
And I have to say, the biggest live pops I thought were when Phoenix was doing all his crazy stuff.
Yes.
And Bandito also got a lot of positive crowd reactions. And I think those were the two guys that, like, really got the "This is awesome" chants going in the live arena. So for whatever it is, the high flying stuff is very crowd pleasing.
Right. So for the record, Walter hasn't been yet. Virtue hasn't been either, but Virtue won't go because he's hating on AEW in the chat room as he does. He's even saying it's good the kid cried. You're a mean person, Virtue. Anyway.
And final thoughts. I just wanted to say, middle of the show was okay. Nothing special.
Yeah.
Beginning was pretty good, and main event was great. And it was definitely an older crowd, mostly men, older people, and just very passionate about the show they're watching. So yeah, overall, I highly recommend checking out an AEW show.
Aaron, most importantly, did you cheer for Jeff Jarrett in Big G's absence?
Oh yeah, I took a picture of that. I was so happy to see Jeff Jarrett. Let's just put it that way.
It's always good to see guys that we watched growing up still cooking. And God, Jarrett's in great shape even now, man. You watch him on his podcast, he's in amazing shape. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Rampage is on right now. About 75% of the crowd stayed for it. Surprisingly, there was not much of a reaction to Tony Storm. Like, that was one of the more disappointing reactions.
That is a bummer.
Of course, everybody loves the Acclaimed, and Tony Khan said that they might be bringing a pay-per-view to Detroit. He said it's a very realistic possibility. So there you go.
Yeah, I was saying, somebody mentioned in the chat room, you had tweeted that out. It's like, there's plenty of options in Detroit for a pay-per-view since they're not going to run a stadium in Detroit, but there's plenty of, you can run Little Caesars.
Yeah, and a very good turnout here. I mean, they got about 8,000 in the building, which for a second visit and compared to some of their recent attendance numbers, it's pretty solid. So I hope they do it. Very rowdy crowd.
Put you on the spot. What was more fun, Dynamite or last night, Blink-182?
Dynamite.
Really?
But
wow.
It's close because Blink was really fun.
You guys are having fun both nights. That's cool.
You guys might be hearing a spoiler right now. I'm not sure if it's coming through.
That's okay. I can hear the ring announcer or the music behind you, to be fair. If somebody else can, that's great. But there's your shot Aaron posted earlier. There's the shot of the crowd before the show. So not a bad turnout even then, because it wasn't totally full yet. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I got to get going. Thanks, Jeff, for doing the live stream tonight. And I'll have more of my thoughts, I'm sure, in the coming days.
Absolutely. We'll see you Friday for SmackDown recap, brother. Have fun, y'all.
All right. Boot me out. Thank you, Jeff.
Well, dear brother. All right. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate that. And okay, I guess I don't have to stick around to do too much talk wrestling, but I will do it since I have more time than I thought I did to hang out. Because I was told 8:30 instead of 8 o'clock for the departure. So let's talk about Monday Night Raw last night. Never seen Aaron so wait, let me get the comments up here. Never seen Aaron so happy. You know what, guys? I've known Aaron for 22 years, almost 23. We were both 19 and just young pups. He's never been happier. For real. He's got a great point in his life. He and his wife are good. His life is good. It sucks that he's, half a country away from me. I'm not going to lie. I do miss my buddy being here, but he is so content in his life. And I haven't seen him this at peak of his existence in the entire 22 years I've known him. And when you get to that place, it's a hell of a place to go. I'll tell you what. And yes, Raw was 2 nights ago. I forget it's Wednesday. I'm sorry. I'm back in talk wrestling mode, Walter. I apologize. So one sip. I haven't even finished the drink yet. And to be fair, I'm talk wrestling because I was supposed to do the show last night and I got interrupted. So anyhow, shenanigans were afoot. Yes. So of course, last night Seth Rollins in his infinite architectness, if you will, won the Raw side of the bracket for a Raw-centric title, even though there's going to be 6 SmackDown guys on it this Friday. And we'll go ahead and throw that graphic up because, yeah, that's a thing. These two matches. Okay, first of all, you put Edge, AJ, and Rey in the same match. I hate you, WWE booking, because now I have to choose, and that's not fair. Because yes, AJ and Seth is the obvious choice for the main event for Night of Champions. Not a problem with that. But at least let me have a little bit of disbelief that it might not be AJ, because Edge in the other match, I have thoughts. Rey in the other match, I have a slight possibility of disbelief. But there ain't no way they're going to have Lashley, Theory, or Sheamus go against fucking Seth Rollins in the main event. It's not going to happen. Not in Saudi Arabia. If it was a show here, I would buy it, right? But not here. So anyway, that'll be your main event. Seth versus one of these 6 guys, or styles, coming up in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
As sound as Seth AJ sounds, and as predictable almost as that is,
right?
What was Edge's nickname for a long time?
The Ultimate Opportunist.
Who cashed in their briefcase in the middle of the main event of WrestleMania?
That would be Seth Rollins.
Wouldn't that have been the Ultimate Opportunity?
Fair.
Ultimate Opportunist versus Ultimate Opportunist. And you just booked yourself a legend for a Saudi show, and the Prince seems to love all those.
The Real Wyatt says, I want Edge versus Rollins. I'm okay. Like I said, you and I discussed earlier, the best choice would be AJ versus Seth. The 2 guys that, for our money, probably should be the world champion if there's nobody named Roman Reigns in the conversation at this stage of the game. But Edge is not a bad, he's not a B+ player or a B option, but in this case, he's not a bad option B.
And to be fair, he never lost the World Heavyweight Championship.
Dude, the freaking chat's right with you, dude. Caleb says, Jeff, I really want to see Edge win the championship. He never lost and he retired. Beth Phoenix, I should do this earlier. Beth Phoenix tweeted out just a picture, no caption, of Edge with the big gold over his shoulder, just smiling, that rated R smile of his. And it's like, they're manifesting. And Matt says, I wanted AJ and Edge to be the final SmackDown. It's not going to happen now, unfortunately. Plus, and then Walter says, AJ Seth was my guess. That was my guess all along when I saw who it was going to be. It's like, it almost seems too obvious. Daniel, who, by the way, is a paid subscriber to the Cassidy Studios, and we thank you again for that, Daniel. If it's Edge versus Seth, I'm okay with either winning the world title. I'm okay with AJ being the world champion, too. Remember, Edge finished their rivalry in Saudi Arabia. Seth gets his revenge. Man, y'all are making a very compelling case. So, again, I don't have a problem with it being Edge. I just have a feeling it's going to be AJ more than anything else. They also did make it official, at least it was either today or yesterday. I forget what day they actually announced, and I told you about this earlier, and I'll show you the graphics, and it's going to go up. The Dark Side of the Ring season premiere will be the story of Chris and Tammy. Chris Candido and Tammy Stitch, for those of you that aren't indoctrined, if you will. But I did find pictures that were throughout their career together, and then unfortunately the most recent pictures of both of them. It's so crazy. The picture I have of Chris with the NWA tag titles, we used that on XMV, God, when he passed 18 years ago, but I couldn't find that. I don't have those videos anymore. So I had to literally screen cap a YouTube highlight package or some shit and then crop it out. It was a pain in my ass. And of course, Tammy's most recent picture is not the best one of Tammy. Definitely seen sunnier days for Miss Setch. I hate that Chris and Tammy's story is a Dark Side of the Ring feature. I know you, and being partial to Tammy because of what happened in San Francisco and her being your guardian angel and everything, and Lord knows she did look out for you. It's just unfortunate. It really is. There you go. Oh, you forgot the M. Yeah. That's why I use these fucking things now, because fat fingers are a thing, and with this new phone, it's becoming even more prevalent than it ever did. But yeah, it's Chris's story was sad enough. I mean, the fact is his last elevator appearance was 2 days post-mortem, which was almost as bizarre as Percy's. It's just weird. And his was on Impact. JJ won't be on camera. I'm in JJ's spot. I am sitting in his spot. So if I was able to move easier, I would vacate the chair. But Daniel says, I don't have Vice anymore. You definitely got to catch the series on YouTube. It is really good. They're going to have a good season this year. And like I said, it's a lot of good stories, just it's dark and sad stories.
We were talking on Open Mic Night, the episode that you missed, that you had wanted us to cover the topics.
Right.
Some of the topics feel like they're kind of stretchy.
They really are, which is not a bad thing because there's been less strategy to talk about. But you know,
But I mean, at this point, should they just cancel the show if they're having to stretch to make something seem controversial?
Yeah.
I compared it on Open Mic Night to the Weird Al behind the music.
Yeah, because Weird Al's,
Aside from the Coolio shenanigans, Weird Al really had no controversy in his career. So how are you going to make a dramatic cliffhanger every commercial break? Like, no, he doesn't have that career.
Yeah. It's like
they're getting to that place with
Dark Side.
It's like some of the stuff that they're doing, the Graham family. Okay.
I mean, yes, tragic ending, but it was a long time, like a long time ago. And again, this is me completely. This is not represent the views of NoDQ.com or anybody but my ass right now. They only stayed relevant in the current times because Mike Graham can run his damn mouth, but other people not drawn. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. If Mike Graham had been on that Rise and Fall of the WCW DVD and saying Jeff Jarrett never drew a dime, it's probably they wouldn't have mattered worth the fuck.
Jeff Jarrett is all elite. Mike Graham isn't. I'm just saying.
And Mike Graham wouldn't have been because he was fired from WCW years before that was even the topic. City by the Bay says, one thing I will say about Dynamite, the show goes by quickly compared to Raw or SmackDown. That is the truth, man. This show breezed by tonight compared to Raw for sure, although I only watched 90 minutes Raw because I watched with Natalie last night, which was funnier than hell, by the way. Watching Raw with your daughter is an experience.
Tonight's Dynamite definitely flew by for me. I maybe caught only an hour of it.
Because school scheduling and errands are a thing, and that's right, priorities over passion. And at the end of the day, it is what it is, kids. Let me see, what else did I highlight for? I wasn't going to go in a whole lot of detail last night. I was just going to kind of cover a couple things, but I literally did a 23-minute show and 10 minutes of it was trailers. So.
Do you want to briefly cover the women's title tournament on NXT?
I don't have graphics for it, but I'll talk about it. I didn't watch NXT, so please help. I was a little busy yesterday. So sorry. What happened on NXT?
So they announced the beginnings of the tournament
right.
to crown the new champion now that Indy Hartwell is seeking the way on Monday Night Raw.
As she should.
The opening contest had Tiffany Stratton go over Gigi Dolan.
That sucks. Like, I get it with Tiffany, but man, not sacrificing Gigi as a result. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
And then the other one was Kiana James. Forgetting who she faced.
It wasn't Fallon, was it?
No, Fallon's in the other end of the bracket.
Oh, okay.
Facing Cora, I think.
Oh, that sucks. Got to root for Cora there. That's a bummer. Good question here from, where'd it go?
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Okay, good question from City by the Bay. Was Carlito's return the best moment in WWE for this year so far? I loved it. It was a damn good moment. It was good seeing Carly on television.
Definitely.
I enjoyed it. Edge's return to the Rumble, though, that wasn't this year, though. I mean, not, well, he didn't return. Did he make another?
Defeated Kiana James.
Oh, okay. And where's Gigi also posted, I missed PK later in the night and blacked out her Twitter. Oh, no.
That shows you
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, Gigi lost to Tiffany. Roxy and JC, that's not fair. Damn it. Laya over Kiana, which I don't, and Fallon, and man, they are just making me not happy with this. Good question. Where was Primo and Epico? Now, Carly always outshone them anyway, so it's kind of like you throw them out there. It's gonna be like, oh yeah, they're here too. Cool. Like, I love Primo and Epico. Primo was super cool to us at Access, and A-Rider wasn't. So it shows you who was a real babyface, who was a heel. Said what the hell I said. Again, we're talking about this year, not returns, in the last few years. But this year, I think Carlito's appearance was cool. Seeing Savio Vega out of nowhere was, granted, he's a big star, always has been in Puerto Rico as TNT, but, as far as returns this year, even if it is a one-off, Carlito was pretty cool to see. So I'm going to go ahead and do the ridiculously...
I think Trish's initial return.
Yeah.
To help Lita and Becky win the straps.
It got a big pop.
I think that was on par with Carlito. I think Carlito might have exceeded it just a little bit because it was that hometown Puerto Rico crowd.
Right.
And they didn't pull the trigger on Trish in Canada.
Right.
If they had,
maybe. Yeah, right. Did you see the second one, Trish and Becky last night? What did you think of it? Two nights ago. See, I'm already on Talk Wrestling mode again. What did you think of it? Right? Like,
I'm not sold yet. I don't know how they're going to carry this out through SummerSlam.
Yeah, definitely.
They're going to have to pull the trigger on this sooner than SummerSlam. Maybe have SummerSlam be a rematch. But I think at this point, they're going to have to pull the trigger at least at Money in the Bank. They've already got one match at Night of Champions that's not a championship match.
Yeah, which...
You got Brock and Cody Part 2.
Oh, I have a question about that, but go ahead.
So you don't want to load it down with too many other matches that are going to be non-title.
Right.
Every belt has to be on the line.
Right.
And we still don't know what they're going to do with the tag straps with Sammy.
Well, we're assuming all the belts have to be on the line. It's implied in the name, but it doesn't have to be, unfortunately. There's a question here. Real Wyatt says, so Miro and Thunder. Oh, yeah, Thunder Rosa also came out. You saw that. Or I told you. Now just waiting on Chris Stanley and Andrade. Don't count on Andrade coming back. He's got a nice cushy chair next to his mommy when they're ready to pull that trigger.
Charlotte is making more than enough money to support Andrade. He don't need to work.
But he wants to. Because Andrade is a decent worker for my money. And Chris Statlander, just like, goddamn, she needs to get her ass healthy already. Somebody's got to beat Jade eventually. Or, give her the world title because that would make sense. Nah, hey, I know you said it. I disagree with it. So I'm going to do the ridiculously shill thing and we're going to bounce on out of here. Let's see. If you missed last Friday's Dads, please check that out. It was our top 10 characters of a galaxy far, far away, of course, referring to the Star Wars universe. I'm only doing this on Aaron's show because I can, because Aaron just loves the Star Wars universe so much. That's right. That's right. Our next episode of Dads, which will apparently be recorded this coming Friday, will air next Friday. Our top 10 wrestling heels of all time. Yes, the fire is there for a background. Right, May 19th. Right, Zoog's Rift. If you know, you know. If you don't, we will try to get Aaron to air that clip before we get there. Although it was May 15th, he was racking on. You can catch Aaron more often than not doing the weekly recaps and reactions for Raw, for AEW Dynamite, for SmackDown on the NoDQ YouTube, as well as here on the Twitter for NoDQ.com. Again, I want to thank Aaron and the missus for letting me pop in here on the Dynamite recap. They are live at Little Caesars for the show, so thank you again. Our next, yes, buy the shirts. Real Wyatt's right. Buy all the shirts. And there are more coming. We definitely have one in the works now based on our conversation tonight that's going to say, wrestling's not hard to book, just hard to finance, as is life, or something to that effect. Definitely need to go to AEW. I know what, okay, I don't know what that says, but sure. That was, yeah.
I don't know what's with him.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow. That okay. Sorry, it came off. So, got it. All right. He is not happy about Mustafa Ali being on any television, apparently. And he also like Mufasa. So Mufasa. Ooh, hey, should I do it again? If you know, you know. I work for Disney, so I have to do that every time you say Mufasa. Oh, okay. How that hurt my shoulder. Should have done that rough. Anyway, let's see. Our next watch-alongs here on the channel, or at least not on this channel, on the Jeff Beach Network Multiverse of Media. JJ and I, hopefully, the finances and permissions work out accordingly, will be at Resurgence. If not, we order in that shit. We're going to cover one or the other. And then back to back, Under Siege from Impact, Night of Champions from WWE, Double or Nothing from AEW. Yes, we understand Battleground from NXT is going to be on the 28th, but we can only do so much. Nobody's worse than Gilbert, except maybe, okay. Nobody's worse than Gilbert except Goldberg. Anyway, let's see what else plugs wise. Oh, tomorrow for Throwback Thursday. What's on Throwback Thursday tomorrow, JJ? More shit. All the shit. We're all getting a little.
I mean, we're on week 11, so we're at like the 11th episodes of Talk Wrestling, No DQ at AV, Renegade of Wrestling, Stat Boy Rants, Dad's on Wrestling, the 11th episode of Indie Force,
Oh,
the 11th No DQ review, and then we're doing the second ever episode of Double Down with Double A because that premiered last week.
right.
I forget what episode we're on for ATW View and Open Mic Night because those didn't start when everything else did.
Right.
Those are a few episodes behind.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, we got all the good stuff coming on Throwback Thursday, just like we do every Thursday on the Cassidy
Studios.
channel. Thank you once again to Boss Man Rift for allowing us access to the No DQ content. Hopefully the fans can hear me saying this through the headset this far away.
they can hear you, brother. Speaking of hearing you, let's talk about Renegade reviews this week because they are doing gangbusters with that non-draw John Wayne.
Almost 250 views for Monday's
That's right.
review of the Searchers so far.
That's right.
Just a little over 48 hours.
That's right. So in the process of mentioning Mufasa, there was a comment that says, "Be prepared is my favorite Lion King song," as it should be, Matthew, as it should be. But yes, today, is it Comancheros? Is that how you say that word? Comancheros premiered. Friday is one of my favorite John Wayne movies of all time. The Man Who Shot Liberty Advance, featuring Jimmy Stewart as well. That's a hell of a damn movie with those two.
And then I just watched Sons of Katie Elder this morning.
That's a good one too, for real. Right. So good. And then Saturday, your new release Saturday, you said you did see that?
Yes.
Are You There, God It's Me, Margaret? Great book by Judy Blume that was out when we was chittins. Yeah.
It's almost a 50-year-old book.
I was gonna say it was out when our parents were chittins, damn near. So, or at least in upper class grade school. But anyway,
It was good. You know, I've never read the book because it's definitely more of a girl-centric thing.
Yes, Judy Blume. Yeah.
Judy Blume also did Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing and Super Fudge, and those are more boy-centric.
Fair.
So she does, but that's definitely more of a female-centric book. But after seeing the cast of Abby Ryder Fortson, Cassie Lang from Ant-Man,
Yes.
Rachel McAdams, freaking Regina George from Meat Girls, and Kathy Bates as the grandma.
Kathy Bates
there's your three generations right there.
That's good stuff.
Rachel McAdams is Kathy Bates' daughter, and Abby Ryder Fortson is Rachel McAdams' daughter in this movie. I was just like, I'm sold.
Right.
Those three women right there.
Take my damn money, however much it is on the
I got about $2 on the Starbucks card. Can I see it again?
Right, for real. That's it. And then of course Sunday is the War Zone.
Yes.
What's on the War Zone this week? Still more of the 50 Cent?
Yep. I've got 2 more episodes of 50 Cent DVDs before we get into other shit. Kind of like what's sitting in that box right there next to you. That'll be episode 51.
So you're making more things with 50 Cent than 50 Cent is right now. So there you go. Good stuff. And of course, as we encourage everybody to do, as we part ways for the night, thank you all for tuning in. Is See No Evil better than the Marine? I don't know. They're both pretty bad.
I've never seen See No Evil to actually be able to judge.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say instinctively yes.
Instinctively, because we hate on things John Cena pre-2006.
And I like horror.
I know you do. I know you do.
Killer.
Kane's a great. He's a great character. Yeah.
I can see that being good.
Yes.
But as you were saying, as we always say, especially across this channel,
yes.
say yes to no DQ.
You.com.
Say no to haters and trolls.
That's right. And John Wayne haters especially. Good night, everybody.